My channel. I would like my channel, not random people's channels. Why does it say I'm offline? That's not good.
Sometimes there's a bit of a delay between going live and it actually going live.
Did I hit? Yeah, I hit start streaming. All right, what's going on?
You are live.
Okay.
All right. Excellent. Well, we can be seen and heard.
See and heard.
See and heard.
See and heard.
You?
It's as good as it gets, people. Like there
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
there
It's a
is.
show.
You know, words are hard, and so is everything else.
Wow. We just went right in there, huh? All right. It's just turning into AIE After Dark. Let's start the show.
Who's leading this show?
That's me. All right.
You should have had a cocktail.
Oh, jeez.
We decided against that as
Yeah,
hard as it burned
for
me the other
very
night.
good reasons.
All right. Going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. On this episode of the AIE Podcast.
Dual universes and new worlds. Oh my.
Scoop out some time on your Sunday for some classic fun.
Time to stop gambling, Max.
It must be Tuesday. Time for patching.
And we have Dankinia here, who is here to talk to us about AIE and ESO.
All that and more coming up now.
Bringing you the latest news from the AIE gaming community
From planet Earth and beyond!
This is the AIE Podcast.
Welcome to episode 351 of the podcast celebrating you, the Aliyah Octa S gaming community. The Die Has Been Podcast. I am Makala. To my left and downstairs is Tetsumi.
Oh hi. I have spreadsheets.
We have spreadsheets. And to our right and 2 states over is Mewcow.
Greetings, guildies. I need some spreadsheets.
And
Yes, you do.
That too.
Oh, yes. And this week we are joined by our lovely special guest, Dan Kinia, who's here to talk to us about AIE and ESO. Welcome, everyone.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi. All right. So let's go ahead and chat on what we've been up to in and out of game. We're going to start with our glorious guest, Dan Kinia. What have you been up to?
Let's see. A lot of gaming. ESO, of course. World of Warcraft, of course. Played around with Wasteland 3 a little bit this week. Still not 100% sold on that.
Okay.
Of course, Fallout 76, Animal Crossing, and lately I've been messing around with VR and Beat Saber a lot. It's kind of
Yes.
fun, and I get to, get out some frustrations by pretending I'm a Jedi.
It's kind of delightful. So, Kenny, Ted, and I are actually all in competition, which reminds me, I'm going to stand up for a minute here so I can get my stand goal in. So we're all in competition with our Apple Watches. We try to make sure that we all close our rings every day. Just kidding. I'm not actually going to stand up. And usually towards the end of the day, because Kenny's a later person, you'll see her rings close up when she does her Beat Sabers. That's pretty fun.
Yep. And I have been
Awesome.
failing behind badly, mainly due to work. So,
Hey, life
It
happens.
happens.
yeah.
On days that I don't get up and hike, it's like, hey, are you alive? Hey, what's wrong with you? Hey,
Are
hey,
you moving?
are you moving? Why? Can we at least get to your stand goal? Because you missed the other two. Anyways. Yes.
It's not so much a competition as it is friendly encouragement.
It is.
Exactly.
It is.
Yep.
And honestly, we're nerds and our natural state is inertia. So yes, we do need it.
Yep. And Cadavery says Mew using that standing desk to close that ring. Yes.
Yep.
And I need to get in on that because my rings are definitely lacking, so I need a little bit more.
Oh yeah, let's add you. Yeah, we'll do that offline. But yeah, we do definitely encourage each other. And Kenny's great. Like the second someone gets all their stuff, she'll send an IM out or a text out saying, "Hey, great!" So I do kind of need that encouragement because some days I'm really just a rat in a cage and I need that little piece of cheese. Especially because I love cheese.
Gamification of exercise and everything else. Yeah. It works.
Yep.
Plus, I love cheese, so I need exercise. So, besides not closing your rings, what have you been up to in and out of game?
Also not sleeping, so there's that. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But other than that, almost similar to Dankinia, saw a bit of Fallout 76, although I can finally take a break. I finished the season.
Oh, nice.
I got all the goodies. So I can sit for like a week and a half, I think it is, until the next one comes. I'm curious to see what changes they make from all that. And also to encourage people that, if you haven't done it yet, there's still, you're not going to be able to do the whole board if you start right now. But they are doing bonus points right now. So if you want to get a little extra, and you can always buy your way through it. If you're more of a whale player, you can just buy through the whole thing and get everything. But there is good news in that the really major goodies they're going to put in the game to buy with gold, like gold bars,
right?
That you can get another thing. So you won't miss out. They're going to figure out a way for you to get it. So you don't even have to pay real money for that. You just gather some gold and go to town.
Nice.
Other than that, Final Fantasy 14, just kind of running around in there. Lots of crafting. There's just so much crafting that you can do in that. There's so many beast tribes that have crafting now. There's all these custom deliveries all over the place. Like it's so engaging as a crafter, which is just a weird thing after coming from WoW, where that doesn't happen.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah. It's actually fun. There's really good story tied to this crafting. I was digging in the Namazu last night actually, and got to the next point in that story, and like it's amazing the little extra bits of story they're giving you for that. They're in the what is it, the steppes. With all the aura,
right?
And they're actually teaching you even more about that area because of their involvement in it. And they're like, oh, we're curious. Why don't you come with us? We're going to learn more stuff about this area. And you're just like, you're learning all these neat little tidbits about the area. So puts a nice little bow on everything. And the mount that you eventually get with them is just outrageously crazy. It's one of those shrine vehicles that people carry,
right?
All festively. But in this one, of course, it's a bunch of the Namazu are little tiny catfish people, and the guy you actually help them. You actually help them build this mount, and they make it out of a floating material because they're not big enough to carry this big heavy thing.
Right.
So then you start doing the quests with this mount before you have to kind of earn it, and it starts to fly. And these little catfish guys are just flailing around and floating all over the place. And it's just the funniest looking thing. And all of why your character is kind of sitting on the side and just kind of going, yeah. And it's just, just the craziest thing. Yeah. And you just go from spot to spot and you're supposed to, bring festival cheer. And it's just a, weird thing. But then the latest one, the one that just came in the latest patch is with the dwarfs.
Mm-hmm.
And you're helping them build a tank.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, you are.
You're building a tank in Final Fantasy 14.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah, and it flies.
Yes. Not something you
wow.
really want to fly on purpose, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Especially a tank built by these dwarves that just, like the cannon in it has some major kick, and it's just, So that's going to be fun to finally earn. And there's also the little one of the custom deliveries. You get a dragon mount under that. It's this new little dragonette that you meet. I mean, there's just all kinds of crazy stuff. And this is all crafting. Like this is this is all crafting related. Like it's just amazing how they can get you engaged in this. And it's it's content that's different from just going from dungeon to dungeon and beat things over the head. Like, crafting is completely different way of playing the game, and fully viable.
Great.
Yeah, that's probably been my two big focuses. WoW is pretty much on maintenance right now.
Yeah.
We do the weekly Mythic Jane amount run, just to get people those extra mounts. So Thursdays at around, what is that, 11 my time, so 10, 9 o'clock Pacific time. If we have 2 or 3 spots, we're usually pulling people in because it's just a quick cheese strat. You go through, don't interrupt.
Nope.
Don't interrupt. Take it off your bar. But you can usually join us and get a chance at a mount. And it's been pretty fun time.
Cool.
All right. Well, what have you been up to in and out of game?
Oh, so much. I finally got the last corrupted essence that I wanted for my set, because next week, Tuesday, I think is the final. It's supposed to max out at 125 corruption resistance if they don't keep it going. And so you kind of have a words are hard. Wow. Budget of what you can spend and buy on these essences. And I basically said, you know what? It's the end of the expansion. We're not raiding anymore. I went complete Twilight Devastation on everything except for my sword. The sword has the Searing Flames, where you basically, it builds up to a stack of 30, and then it does 5% of your total health in damage to everything in front of you.
It's basically another Twilight Devastation, just it looks different.
Exactly. So, yeah, it's fun now doing world quests where you show up and you hit the mob, and then the Twilight Devastation kicks in and it's dead. It's just like,
yeah,
okay. So, doing that, I started to get cloaks on my alts just to get the cloak, and then thought better of it. I've got it on I think I have it on my priest, and I think I have it on my priest and my warlock. And then I gave up because it's just so much busy work that you really don't need. And then I was like, oh, but I could get access to the tier 3 essences for all my alts. Oh, wait, that's 2,500 things. If I'm doing dailies, that's only 250 a day. So I can earn 1 every 10 days per alt. No, this is the end of the expansion.
No.
Screw all this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what I have been doing a lot that got me, has had most of my time, is Shoujo Beat and I are both in beta. And so we've been kind of palling around, exploring different alts and different parts of the beta, testing it and providing feedback and stuff. And the ever famous, hey, is this clickable for you? Yeah, click, boom. She goes flying across the map, screaming at me like, what did you make me do? I said, don't worry, I'm right behind you. It's just it's a teleport from one zone of the maw to another, but it just flings you in the air. And I said, technically, I just asked if it was clickable for you. She's like,
I didn't say click it.
No, well, no. And her response was, you know me, I have to touch everything. I'm like, okay,
I was going to say,
fair.
have you met JoJo?
Yeah.
She's going to click it.
Exactly. So that was fun. She did her first Torghast run yesterday and really enjoyed that. Once she knew it was only 6 floors, because she's like, when does this thing end? I'm like, floor 6. And she's like, oh, okay, I'm on floor 4. So I will say this, if nothing else, I will probably spend the majority of my time that I'm not doing Covenant build-up activities in Torghast, because at least right now, the way they have it tuned, Torghast makes you feel like you're at the end of the expansion, completely powered up, and can do almost anything based on the RNG, the buffs you get and things like that. Because when you come out of B of A into Shadowlands, you hit that, oh god, I feel weak again. I feel like paper and all that. But you go into Torghast and you get that, oh, I'm all completely powered up. Let's have fun and go do stuff. So it'll be interesting to see. I do like a lot of the systems they have in there, but as I said earlier, I need spreadsheets because there's essentially 4 different systems you have to interact with for your covenant. So you almost need a checklist or a spreadsheet just to remind you to do your daily and weekly activities until somebody builds an add-on that takes care of that,
Sense.
tracking it
Yeah.
for you.
Yep.
But yeah, because you get a weekly set of 3 quests that you can do over the week, and then those are done. You get your daily quest to do something like go do 4 world quests in another zone, or go kill this high level mob in this other zone. And then you have your follower missions that you're sending out on the table, and you have your covenant talent choices and stuff that affect your personal power. And they all like share a currency but interact. So it's like you have to go out, do world quests. While you're doing those world quests, you're going to get anima. Anima goes into the reservoir and also works towards your weekly completion of one quest. And then you can use that anima to either send things on your mission, build up your covenant base, or reroute the anima flow to a specific area inside your covenant, and then that unlocks something special. And if you do it enough times, that anima flow becomes permanent. So it's a lot. It's a lot. So the best thing is, Disturbed actually said, is it worth it? Is it required? Honestly, the only thing that's required of the covenant is the talent trees, and I forget what they're called, but everything else kind of feeds into that. Like, you have to build your covenant renown up to unlock those trees. Well, to build your renown up in your covenant, you have to do everything else. So is it optional? Yeah, if you just want to rely on your gear from raiding and dungeons and things like that. But no, it all kind of flows in together. So and then you have to run Torghast to get Soul Ash, because that's what you use to craft your legendaries. So yeah, it all kind of ties into each other, but the flow of it right now in beta just isn't well defined in the game. So you need something outside the game to track it. But I will say this, the other thing you need is a good group of friends or a guild, AIE, because we're going to need a lot of crafters, because every profession has a base item for making the legendaries, or a piece that contributes to making the legendary in addition to what you gather in Torghast. So it's a lot of systems. There's going to be a lot of guides online and stuff like that, but we'll see.
Awesome. Yeah.
So,
And that's why you have a guild.
yep. But that's where I've been doing a lot of bug reporting and testing. The secondary stat cap right now does not feel good. Like, you
Oh,
put on
no.
a piece of haste gear, and I went from a base 25% haste, which goes up to 35 with talents. No, 40 with talents when they all proc. And I have like 10% haste. And you throw in
Oh,
another piece
gosh.
of gear, and that haste number doesn't move, and you're like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but that's because it's the beginning of the expansion,
Yeah,
and they have
exactly.
to build in scaling for the gear you're going to be getting at the last raid of the expansion. But just right now, it feels rough.
Underpowered.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, especially
Mew,
for warriors.
yeah. So Mew, are you Paladin tanking or are you Guardian tanking this expansion?
I'm probably leaning more towards Paladin tanking, honestly.
Yeah.
Just because they have a kit that can handle that beginning progression.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
and-
we were looking at Icy Veins, and there's a bunch of people that are making disparaging comments because it came out with, well, here's your tier tank list, here's your tier healer list, and here's your tier DPS list, and like Guardian of Protection warriors are in the C list tier, and Shoujo saw the healer one and freaked out. She's like, holy list C, holy priest C tier. Like, they're based it on balance right now. There's still a lot of tuning they have to do.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, it was just like C list. Come on. So
yeah.
that
happens. Seems like every expansion with warriors, at the very least.
Oh, yeah.
Like they start out real rough, and then you finally get enough haste, and you feel like you can do something.
Exactly, and that's what I'm worried about. Is it's going to take a couple, sets of patches and tuning passes to feel normal. So,
Yeah.
But we'll see. Regardless, it seems like it's going to be fun. I am going to be interested to see how long the tail on these systems are, and how engaging they're going to be, because there's a lot of foundation, but there's also a lot of holes where they can plug stuff in later patches, and what they decide to plug in is going to make it interesting. So,
Yep.
Cool.
Right.
I think there's one more person that needs to go over what they've been doing.
Yes. So Ted happened to mention that Fert's not raiding right now, but what he didn't mention is something we're doing with a few of the Fert members on Sunday nights.
Yep.
Is our good friend Ro actually started while they're on the raiding wall a D&D campaign, and we're doing Adventure from the Yawning Portal, which is great because they're usually like little short adventures. So depending on what's going on with raiding later on down the line, it's easy to pick up depending on the night. Tet's playing. Okay, so anybody that knows Tet and I knows how very weird this is. Tet's playing a rogue.
I know, a dwarven rogue.
What?
A dwarven yes. Yeah, so he's playing
rogue.
the type because he's playing a dwarf, but he's not playing the type because he's playing a rogue.
Yep.
And anybody that knew me from gaming age 16 to 45 will be amazed the fact that I am playing a cleric, and I'm finally
Another
not
cleric.
Right. This is my fourth cleric in 5e. I love clerics in 5e, but this is the first time I'm actually playing a classic Healy cleric.
Not a warrior cleric.
Not a warrior cleric, not a brainy cleric, not a lighty cleric, an actual healing cleric. And I'm also so the mother of the group.
Yeah.
Literally, she's in her 40s. Like, I thought it'd be really fun to play a character who started to adventure later in life. And, she had a life. She's, been married, kids, has a grandchild, the whole bit. And now she's adventuring. So, so really loving that. And we're playing with, Rose running the game. We actually get to play with Ben and Never. And Mulgra, which, it's great. Because like Ben's run a game for us, but like we have never played with Ben as a player.
Right.
So we're so excited about that. So that's like our big thing. Standard stuff. We had one hell of a battle yesterday in D&D. 2 rounds took forever, but we finally crowd controlled and got rid of the undead. By the way, at level 9, you can just disintegrate some undead, and it's amazing. But we're dealing with like this big plot piece. Our Thursday night game, we're almost off the road. We've been literally, this is like our 5th or 6th session, and we've been on the road the entire time trying to get to where we're going. But we're now to we're almost done here. In our Call of Cthulhu game, we got through an adventure in just two sessions, which is pretty new for us. Usually takes us longer. We're all still alive. Even though we've seen some weird stuff, my character has an obscene amount of sanity. Like, they've seen so much stuff that we should all be insane, but we just keep dealing with it.
Yeah.
And now we're actually at the eve of World War II. It is now December of 1938 in Europe. So we're now kind of dealing with, we're seeing what we're going to be coming, which is we're working
and all that. Yeah.
Right. And we've had some cross sections with Nazis. So I have a feeling what we're going to be dealing with is we've now actually are going to be working with like British Secret Service. So I have a feeling we're going to be the British equivalent of the stories you would hear about the Nazis hunting down artifacts. I have a feeling we're going to be the ally equivalent of it. So that's what I've been doing with dice and stuff. So we're going to dig into ESO in just a few minutes, but let's cover this week's news.
Hang on.
Find your stuff.
AIE News.
Sorry.
All right.
Kibitzing in the chat room.
Oh. Yes. All right. So mandatory fun night. Here is your schedule. Sunday, WoW Classic is at 2 p.m. Eastern. That is the Sunday Fun Day. Also Sunday, STO in 1 Earth Minute.
Yep.
8:30 Eastern Standard Time. We have our STO mandatory fun night. On Monday, Guild Wars 2, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Tuesday, SOTOR, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Max Time. Tuesday, Final Fantasy 14 casual rating is a half hour after that, 9:30 Eastern. Wednesday, Final Fantasy Fun Night, 9 o'clock Eastern. Thursday, Final Fantasy Progression rating, 9:30 Eastern. Friday, ESO, 9 p.m. Eastern, and that's the day that Kay does not always close her rings for a very valid reason.
Yep.
Final Fantasy 14 Late Night Fun Night, 11 p.m. Eastern. Saturday, Lotro, 8:30 Eastern. Saturday, New Braid in WoW, 11 p.m. Eastern. And Saturday, Final Fantasy 14 Map Night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. And we need to switch those times where they're listed on there because that bugs my need for things to be in order.
Sorry.
I'll fix it. You talk about Guild Podcast News. I'm going to fix that on the template.
Yes. All right. In Guild Podcast News, speaking of STO, the Fleet Action Report, Episode 7, Ship Equipment, Nikitas and Greebog cover the various ship equipment and types. They even cover their builds and some of the reasoning behind the way they build things. And in Fleet Action Report 8, Ground Equipment and Builds, Nikitas and Greebog discuss ground equipment and builds, and that's mainly for your away teams. And in the aforementioned SOTOR Escape Podcast 351, Shay Vizsla, the Shay Companion returns as a subscriber reward. We'll talk about the companion and the character history. And
that's going to be a while.
Yeah. In Working Class Nerds, episode 81, Classified, Marcus and Nick sit down and just catch up. They talk streaming about the games they're playing now and the ones they're looking forward to, including Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War.
Alrighty. In the section we call Imperium Ludi, Dual Universe Open Beta has launched, although the beta is a bit rocky as expected from an indie studio pushing it out earlier than is probably ready for. It's still a compelling experience, however. There's a group of AIE in there building bases, industry, and ships. AIE has a guild organization established with territory and facilities open to all guild members on the main planet of Aelioth. If you have any questions, be sure to check with Cadavari and Max down in Dual-Universe channel in Discord. And then over in New World, the preview week just wrapped up. New World is looking extremely polished from a game engine perspective. A group of guild members has been in the preview beta for the past week, exploring lands and experiencing some of the latest views of the game before they shut down for an extended dev cycle targeting spring of 2021. Bach may still have some of the many hours of streaming of the game available on his Twitch channel clips for a limited time. AIE will certainly be watching the game closely as the development continues.
All right.
There's a little bit more.
A little more there, yes.
Yeah.
Keep going.
I was gonna say Max says in the chat room he's hooked pretty good on it, and he is, honestly.
Yeah. Let's see. It's just a note here about New World. The New World stuff was without NDA, and it was open to anyone that had a pre-order of the game. There's still another 6 months for release. The spring of 2021 mentioned. Amazon decided to push back the release to focus on the pure PvP game and mostly PvE-centric game. Endgame still does not exist, and there's no dungeons, and PvE progression ends 2/3 of the way. But that's why they need another 6 months, and that's probably a good sign. Honestly, they're like, you know what, we need more.
Yeah.
Let's see. They need to help fill all those needs. The engine, crafting, housing, combat, and mass tests have already been completed in testing. Preview is a lot smoother than many releases, full releases.
Sweet.
Yeah, and the bonus, it's a buy once, play forever game without monthly fees and no transactions at the moment. But they got to find some way to pay for things, so you know.
Yeah, we'll see.
And
Yes.
Max says he's really excited for the Lumberyard game engine since Amazon Studios owns it. He wants to see more games built in Lumberyard. Yeah.
Oh, you know they will.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's AWS does that. They build a thing for themselves, then they start farming it out to everyone else, aka the cloud, AWS. So
Awesome. All right. In No Man's News, Division 2, title update 11 soon, is now available on the public test server. Season 2 marches on. There's a great weekly report on Ubisoft's website. The link is in the show notes. Destiny 2, the game enters its final week on the Solstice of Heroes. Grab your exclusive armor sets before the game ends. Also, speaking of Destiny 2, there is some great information on the Bungie website on their weekly updates. That's going to let you know what to expect with that final week of Heroes. There's also a link for the new trailer, some subclass trailer for Stasis on the website as well. That's also, you can find that trailer on YouTube.
Stasis looks really interesting. It's an ice tank, it looks like.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
That's what they mean by stasis. It's like you're putting things in stasis essentially. Like you're just coming in and slamming, and everything just freezes over, and it looked really cool. It looked very interesting. That's an
So it's
interesting
like
take
a
on it.
May from Overwatch tank combined with a Protection Warrior tank. Okay.
Yeah, if May walked up and punched you in the face.
Right. Yes. Sorry. All right.
Sorry.
Exactly. In WoW news, we are likely about 2 to 3 weeks away from the pre-patch event based on the schedule for the animated shorts and the expansion launching on October 26th / the 27th. We're guessing probably September 29th because that would be the Tuesday after Lives. They still need to give at least 2 weeks notice to the end of PvP season and all that. So figure, if you haven't heard it this Tuesday, go out 2 weeks. I think it was designed to be a 3 to 4 week event. So probably September 29th is a good bet. This will be the patch that changes all your talent trees, brings back old spells and abilities that were gone, nerf buffs, etc. So it is a very good time to get all your add-ons sorted, your character hotbars sorted, figure out which classes you want to play in the expansion. There's
Oh,
just
when
transferring a
everything
character
breaks.
to the public trance realm and seeing all the changes and all the stuff, just set some time aside, even if you don't want to participate in the pre-patch event, although there is collectible armor sets and stuff in there, so you probably do want to do it. It's a good time to go in there, see what they took away, what they've added, why they added it. Because there's some additional stuff like, here, have this back, and you're like, thanks. I'll put that on that hotbar over here I don't use, but
Right,
at
right. The
least for
shipped hot bar.
warriors. Yeah.
Yeah. I hear rogues wondering why they've been given Shiv back.
Oh
or
yeah.
Not, yeah. It's like, yay, okay, I can do that. But
Thanks.
I can do this. But I guess I
Exactly.
can do this now.
Yeah. There will be a lot of discussion in guild chat. Please make sure you're running the Greenwall add-on. We'll make sure it's updated for the 9.0 stuff. And in the WoW AI Discord channel, because like with any expansion, there's always change. It just seems like this time there's a lot more change. Like they're moving the talent trees around, so where you may have had like obvious choice 1, obvious choice 2, obvious choice 3, now all 3 of those obvious choices are on one talent line, and you have to figure out which of those 3 you want and then pick other ones. So just get ready for a lot of change.
Yeah.
Oh, and
However-
leading up to Shadowlands, New Braid is going to continue to be running right up until Shadowlands drops, is what the decision has been. And then, so, get in there, raid, see Nyalotha. It'll be fun.
Well, if you don't like change, we can talk about WoW Classic.
Excellent.
And in particular, Vanilla Sunday Fun Days. Scoop out a little time from your schedule, level up with us in WoW Classic. Whether you're just starting out and sprinkling through the starter quest, get it, sprinkling.
Yep.
Adding the cherry on top of a max level 60, more ice cream. Everyone is invited to join us for an old-fashioned social hour in-game and Discord. Greenwall is now active in WoW Classic. Our goal was to make communication easier with our friends in United Orgrimmar and another small guild called For the Birds during raid nights and various other activities throughout the week. Make sure you download the Greenwall add-on so that you see all of the combined conversation. Otherwise, you'll see about a third of what's going on, what's being said, and you don't want to miss out on all that. Friendly reminder that main guild chat is still considered family-friendly, so please be respectful to everyone. Raid nights with the United Orgrimmar team continues to be awesome. They have cleared Molten Core, finished a full clear of AQ20, and the schedule for Molten Core has moved to Saturday so that they can have more time to be devoted to Blackwing Lair on Sundays. If you're interested in raiding, let them know, and they'll give you a guiding hand in the right direction. If you're interested in creating a character with AIE Guild in WoW Classic, we play Horde on the Paggle PvE realm. Once you make a character, jump into the LFO channel on Discord and request a guild invite. Hope to see you in game soon.
All right. And then SOTOR news. Gambling is finished up for the year and will probably be back next summer. The slots were generous to many by awarding Rhodian companions, which lots of folks missed getting last year. In spite of Herculean gambling efforts, there may have been 1 or 2 guildies that don't get a Rhodian. Or maybe just 1. All right. And Swoop Racing has come back for a week at the end of the month, which means another chance at rep and rewards. The cosmetic tactiles are particularly fun to get. These are items that your character equips that change something, usually a combat effect, but ones that make you do a jump off your speeder with flare are fun too. Later this fall, we'll see a brand new event called the Face of Prosperity. We don't know much about it yet, and more info is to come. Probably your best bet to find out what's going on there, of course, is going to be in Discord chat for SOTOR or listen to that Escape podcast. B. Kavanaugh has had the brilliant idea to add achievements to the lineup of activities during MFN. SOTOR has lots of achievements that can be accomplished in a raid group out in the world. It was a great time the first time they tried it, and they can't wait for it to come up again. chat room is being very distracting. Mainly because Max is being picked on. Mega last month was a Datacron run, which includes an instance one that we had not attempted before. People who had done it before helped guildies through the process, and some folks came away with new Datacrons. Marcus is almost done getting all of his Datacrons. Mega next month will be on the 25th, and more details will be following. Mei Long is running Flash Nights on Friday nights, roughly every 2 weeks. So look for that about 2 weeks out. And of course, Discord or Guild Chat is your place to keep a track of what's going on there. Steam rewards are being issued right now, so log in to get a Pipeworks flare and subscribe sometime between August 28th, 2020 and October 5th, 2020 to get the iconic Shay Vizsla as your companion. She's a popular companion, and people have been asking for her to come back, and she is available again.
There we go. All right, and in Final Fantasy XIV news, we are still in patch 5.3 with lots of great changes and additions to the games. For those newcomers, the A Realm Reborn revamp has been reported to chop hours off the doldrums of the main story questline. Better pacing, XP, and overall a modern questing experience. Also, the demo of the game has been expanded through Heaven's Ward, the first expansion, so you can jump in and play the game with a few limits, up to level 60. Although as a demo player, you won't be able to join the free company with which is one of those limits. You can still join groups and get help from AIE just by joining the Final Fantasy XIV channel in the AIE Discord. We're happy to help you out on your Final Fantasy XIV journey. The next update, patch 5.31, is scheduled for, shockingly, Tuesday, September 8th. Crafters will be interested in this patch since it will bring forth the next phase of the Ishgardian restoration. Join the realm's other crafters in the rebuilding of Ishgard after the Dragonsong War. Note that this is officially Heaven's Ward content, so if you do complete the main story quest through Heaven's Ward, you can participate, including people on the free demo. Yes, free players get on the demo, get content updates too. And looking forward, we have patch 5.35 on the horizon. This one will expand on the resistance weapon, upgrading our resistance weapon similar to the relics in previous expansions that we received in the previous patch. Also, the housing plots will be expanded, so there may be some opportunity to purchase a home of your own this time. In FC events, fun nights are still fun, and fun can be had even outside the fun nights. Groups are happening for all levels at nearly all hours of the day. Plus, the FFXIV channel is moving all throughout the day for news, discussion, question, answers, and amusing bits. Guides, tips, and other resources can be found in the Guides and Tips channel. If you're looking to discuss the twists and turns of the story, we also have a spoilers channel. For those wanting to talk about the overall MSQ, please use that channel and don't spoil it for new folks. And as always, we look forward to you joining us in Final Fantasy XIV. Easy for me to say.
Yep.
So hard.
Mm-hmm.
And over another fantasy world, but maybe not so much fantasy, more techie, Star Trek Online. The Risa event has wrapped up with some interesting rewards now that all the event currency has been collected. The Red Alert event is live now and goes on until September 10th. The reward is the Ultimate Tech Upgrade. A bonus XP weekend is live and goes until September 10th. More than the weekend, seems
I
like.
was gonna say,
Yeah.
it's a long weekend and then some.
Very long weekend.
Bonus week.
Yep. A new ship is coming in as a reward for the sales promotion. The ship is from the Picard series and is the Inquiry Battlecruiser.
Ooh, that's a cool
That should
ship.
be interesting. Yeah, that should be fun. The promotion starts September 8th and goes until September 29th. This will be another R&D pack promotion to get the ships. Within this promotion, there will be a sale on R&D packs starting September 8th and going till the 14th, and they will be 20% off. Also, there will be a brand new event called To Hell with Honor. You will need to do 14 days to get the final reward of 3 TFO, which is the fleet officer stuff, reward boxes, and the standard 25,000 lithium. The event is set to start September 8th. Lots of stuff starting September 8th, it seems. And go until September 29th. Also, the reward for completing the event each time has a chance to give you new miniaturized Elachi walkers, which are vanity pets. Miniaturized, huh? That sounds super tiny. Fleet Night is on Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, so that was 17 minutes ago.
Right now. Yep.
Lately, we have been running episodes that have been taken out of the seasons, and they are currently working on the Breen story Cold War.
And in Eve news, not much. Eve is quiet, but Echoes now has a presence, and people should talk to Dejara to get connected there.
And Friday, September 11th in Guild Wars 2, Mei Lung will be hosting a World Boss March. It will start at 8 Central, 9 Eastern.
And in Lord of the Rings Online, last night for SNL, went back to Monster Play to run in conjunction with the Landroval PVMP for Extra Life event. It was a great turnout for Lord of the Rings Online, which did cause some lag, but was a lot of fun. Coming in about a month is the Chicken Play Race. There will be special prizes given out. We'll be using some upcoming SNLs to get characters to the point where you'll be able to join in the race. Very low-level toons will be able to compete in the event and have a chance to win. Stay tuned to the Lord of the Rings Online channel in Discord for more details.
All right, and with that data crown worth of news, let's get back to Dan Kenny and find out what's going on in ESO.
So many things. So recently, Update 27 came out and brought with it performance improvements, which are always a good thing, although loading times, they're still a little bit iffy. But one of the most exciting things about the improvements that they did is called character pathing. And then it also had, of course, the Stone Thorn DLC. Character pathing allows you to set up nodes within your house area, and you can draw a path that your pets or mounts or assistants can follow around the property, so it actually feels like your house is alive. So instead of your merchant just standing there doing nothing by the doorway, your merchant can walk around the house, and a cat can be following them, and your horses can move around the stable. So it's a nice little touch, and it definitely makes the housing feel a bit more lifelike and interactive.
Until you need to find your bank, and you're like, "Where'd you go? Hey,
get back over here!"
Yeah. The Stonethorn DLC that came out at the same time as Update 27 added the 2 new dungeons, Stone Garden and Castle Thrawn, that carry on the story from Greymoor and leads into the next set of the DLC and the final part of the year-long Dark Heart of Skyrim adventure that we're currently doing. Stone Garden involves basically putting a stop to a mad alchemist. He's done some experiments. There's some evil things. It's got an interesting mechanic at the end. I definitely enjoyed that dungeon. And Castle Thrawn. I spelled it 2 different ways in the notes. Wow. Takes you into a vampire lair where you get to meet a vampire lord.
Names are hard.
Yeah, evidently. So for MFN 2 weeks ago when this launched, we grouped up and ran both of these 2 dungeons. Since I'm a hoarder of all the things in the games, I totally enjoyed the castle because it had a lot of crates and wardrobes and backpacks to loot, and there were some neat decor items with a nice gothic vibe to it that I hope they make available for player-owned houses in the future. Those white lilies all over the place were just super pretty. And Stone Garden felt like it had a lot less loot, but the fights were a bit more challenging in places, and the final boss fight was just a bunch of chaotic fun once we figured out what we were supposed to do. Mm-hmm. Not going to give any spoilers on what that fight actually entails, though. Right now, the Imperial City celebration is actually going on, and it will run until Tuesday, September 15th at 10 a.m. Eastern. Just like all of the in-game events, there are loot boxes and event tickets that you can earn, and the event tickets can be used to get more of the Endrick feathers and the berries to morph your Endrick into the new color schemes. This is primarily a PvP-focused event, But the event tickets can also be earned by running the 2 Imperial City 4-person dungeons, White Gold Tower and the Imperial City Prison. For MFN last week, several of us tackled Imperial City Prison for the tickets, and those that either liked PvP or were too low level for these dungeons, because they are DLC dungeons, so you need to be at least either 45 or 50, took a quick adventure into the city where other factions might try to kill them, where they tried to slay a boss while avoiding players in those other factions. And thank you to Sky for leading that PvP group so that they could get their tickets. Sky is one of those people that actually likes PvP and has done a lot of it. So if you have any questions on that, you might want to point them his way. And this coming Friday, we'll probably repeat it, where some of us do the dungeons and the rest do the sneaky PvP stuff. Just because events like this are always more fun in a guild group. So if you're looking to have something to run with you throughout the week, just let us know in guild chat or Discord, and we can get people to help you get those tickets.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I do recommend that even if you don't PvP, do a little bit of it, because that PvE talent tree has some really useful stuff in it that really helps out in the rest of the game.
Rapid Maneuvers is a great talent
Yes.
just for movement speed, and that is one that you can only get from the PvP tree. It's not that hard to get. I think I have it unlocked on one of my characters. So, I mean, PvP, when it comes to that part, is valuable, but a lot of us are just not into it, I guess.
I don't know, just you get that button alone, and it's like you're going to Plaid. Like, you are going so fast, you just zoom through everything, and it's like it was so worth a little bit of effort to get just that one little talent.
Well, and if you get that talent, and then you get a ring that you can farm up from antiquities, which also increases your speed, yeah, then you're like beyond Plaid. It's epically fast. And
I was gonna say a maxed out horse plus all those two things, and like no one can touch you. You just Who needs flight? Who needs fast travel? You're there already.
So there are some advantages to it, and there are people in the guild that enjoy PvP that would help you out if you are interested in getting started on that, or just getting that rapid maneuver piece. Sky does it, I believe. Smoke does it. There's a couple people that do the PvP stuff that would help you out.
And I wanted to ask you, because we, unfortunately, since we have you, just kind of switch gears slightly, we forgot to update the show notes about Noob. So what's going on in Noob?
So New Braid, up until the last few weeks, have been running 2 groups, which is awesome. And this week we only ran one. Due to Labor Day, we just didn't have quite as many people involved. Last week we only ran one as well. People are finally starting to get more interested in the beta and less interested in New Braid.
Funny how that works.
No, actually, I'm sorry. I take that back. Last week, Noob did have 2 groups because there's video on someone else's stream of G falling off a ledge.
That's right. Yes. Yeah.
It was the week before that we were single group.
Yeah.
But this week we were a little bit brave, and we went in and fought the Fury of Nyalotha, and then we actually saw Nyalotha,
Nice.
which did involve us having to slaughter a guildie because he didn't have a cloak.
Yeah.
Wow, tough love.
No. I mean, if you don't have a cloak, as soon as the encounter starts, you're immediately mind controlled, and that's it. You're hostile, so you're dead.
I mean, we timed it out so that he was able to get on the kill with Fury. We let him, who didn't have the cloak, pull him so that he got a hit in, and then we killed him before we went on the boss. That way he was able to still get loot.
Good.
So we will help you out if you don't have a cloak, but you're going to be floor tanking the encounter, which is fine too.
Yeah.
So and they turn into Kenny.
And honestly, as much as I complain about having to go through the cloak quest for alts, it's not that bad if you just go through it and complete everything and get the cloak on whatever character you take. I'd probably set like an hour aside if you're up through Nazjatar. Good Lord, I can't remember. If you've at least opened up Nazjatar and gotten the NPCs around the fire and opened up the teleport portal back to Orgrimmar, Magni will show up and say, "Hey, come to the heart chamber," and then you can just pick up the cloak quest from there. You don't have to do anything else in advancing the Nazjatar quest line. You can just go right to the heart chamber and start the quest for the cloak. It will, as part of it, you'll have to do both sets of invasions, so make sure, you know, if you've done anything in Nazjatar and you have some mana pearls or are doing world quests, just make sure you have some decent gear, because those world quests solo at low gear levels can be a bit rough.
Mm-hmm. But getting that close is worth it just for the item level bump. That's all you really want it for at this point. Unless you're doing the rating.
Yes.
But yeah, that item level bump is pretty significant, and then suddenly things will be a little easier on you.
Nice.
Well, it
Thanks,
was-
Disturbed. That's exactly
Yeah.
the meme we needed right now. Guess I'll die.
It was fun to see those fights because we had not been there yet. You know, we tend to skip around a little bit with some of the bosses
Yeah.
depending on who's available and do we have enough DPS, especially when we're splitting into 2 raids.
Yeah.
It can be harder to progress beyond what we're normally doing. So, but that was a lot of fun. As I mentioned earlier, New Braid is going to continue to run. The plan is we will run right up until Shadowlands drops, and at which point we will, of course, stop New Braid because everyone's going to want to check out the new content.
Right.
So,
Are
Yeah.
you going to possibly do New Braid on unnamed lore character that you get to kill in Eastern Plaguelands? Because it does require a significant number of people to take that NPC down.
Yeah, which is kind of a callback to how things used to be way back when.
Yeah.
honestly, this is the first I've heard of that thing,
Okay.
but I wouldn't necessarily have a problem with doing that.
Yeah,
Um,
coming in the
that
pre-patch, there will be a quote unquote closure to part of the Sylvanas storyline, and there is somebody that you need to go take care of in Eastern Plaguelands. I won't spoil it, but let's just say, yeah, you need a raid. Like, we went and tried to do a pug of it, and people like run in and were dead. And like, okay, let the tanks handle it. Heal the tanks. Heal the tank. Heal the. Oh, never mind. I think
Yeah,
we ended
I
up with
remember.
like. I think we ended up with like 6 Void Walkers, finally just tanking it, and then an actual tank would come in to allow the Warlocks to get their Void Walker back up, and then yeah, it's a mess.
And I remember, I think it's a basically like a replay of that fight was way back when.
Oh, yeah.
And it was and it had some really crazy mechanics too. So
There's like tons of AoE, tons of get out of this, tons of interrupt this, or you become mind controlled or stunned, and then but yeah, Kenny, I would probably, maybe not a noob night, a New Braid night, or just kick it off, but knowing New Braid, it'll probably take a few minutes to get organized and stuff, so you might want to do like half a night where you go do that. So
That's actually a good idea. I will put that in my notes as something we can do during the pre-patch. And I'm looking forward to seeing what Shadowlands brings. As usual, New Braid is going to take that break when Shadowlands comes out,
Yep.
so that people can level up and enjoy the story, and there's no rush. With Shadowlands coming out so close to the holidays, New Braid is probably going to be off until the second weekend of January at that point.
Yeah.
Idea.
Is what the thought process is. And the only reason I'm mentioning it now is because if I mention it early enough, hopefully
People
it's
plan for it.
remembered
yeah,
Right.
and people can plan for it. So
And also, when we ask for notes, when we're prepping
Just
for the
put it in
show,
there.
just remind us to include that in there too.
Yeah.
So we'll make sure that we have
Absolutely.
that in our schedule.
Yeah. sneak peek.
Sorry.
2 weeks from now, we'll have Sai on talking about WoW and the pre-patch event. So we'll just keep mentioning it.
Yep. Exactly. All right. So any more ESO news you want to share with us before we let you go?
Not really at the moment. They haven't given us any new ETAs on when the next DLC or anything comes out. We know it'll be fourth quarter and it'll wrap up the current storyline that they're telling. And of course, there'll be a Halloween event, or Halloween timeframe event, but no specifics on that yet either. It's just a bet that they always do. When we get those dates, I'll definitely include them in the notes for you.
Awesome. All right. So that is it for our show this evening. While the chat room starts suggesting titles, we want to thank Kenny so much for coming and chatting with us about ESO and New Braid and all the other great stuff that's going on.
Yep.
Kenny, if we're looking for you, where can we find you?
I am on Twitter and on Twitch at Dankinia, DANKINIA. I know, very original. And on my Twitch stream, I do stream the mandatory Fun Nights for ESO and WoW New Braid content. So if you want to watch me floor tank or jump off cliffs in either of those games, feel free to tune in.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
It's a good lurk.
If you have a question or comment about our show, you can email us at podcast@aie-guild.org. You can also follow us on Twitter. The show is at AIE Podcast. Mew is at the Mew Cow. McCullough is at Cyberwave. And I am at Ivory Tiger. We record live with video every other Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. You can join the chat room and play along with us on our website, aie-guild.org, and our Discord server for chat is aie-guild.info/Discord, all lowercase. Our theme was composed by the amazing Andrew Allen. Follow him at Keys with Soul or visit his website, andrewallenmusic.com.
I still want to say keyswithsoul.com. I'm just
I know. So
I know.
long.
Yes.
Yep.
And right about here is where we would put our segments. We haven't received any this week. We did get one last time, though. So we're definitely looking forward to more. If you have anything else for us, doesn't matter what the game is, send it our way and we'll include it.
Yep.
As Tet noted, next time we're going to be talking about Psy, about WoW, the pre-patch event, and expansion. So until then, AIE, this is Makala.
This is Tetsemi.
This is Mewcow.
And this has been the AIE Podcast.
Yay!
Hey.
I feel a lot
That
more
was
Yes, that
fun.
rat hole was due to us not putting not getting the noob notes in there earlier, but that's okay.
Yeah.
And that was my fault. I got so focused on getting the ESO notes in that I totally forgot to update the New Braid notes in the Discord.
Well, I mean,
So you
you
focused on the
pulled
focus
double
of the
duty,
show?
so yeah,
Yeah, you did the thing we brought you here for.
exactly. So, all right. Well, I see 3 show titles so far. ESO Science to be Done. A little ESO in your WoW or New Braid ESO. I like all those.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are times I wish I could take a raid group from one game and have them like, okay, let's go raid this game over here real quick.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But it's hard to level up
Yeah.
and keep everything. So
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah,
know
it is.
I know OMF has been trying to get enough people from FERT interested in raiding over in Final Fantasy 14.
Not
but
just him. I would
I
love
know.
that too.
Yeah. So
I need to finish leveling my character in Final Fantasy one day.
yeah.
It's easier now. Definitely a lot easier.
Yeah. So
I think my summoner is 45.
oh, you're close then.
You're in the
Especially
right in
with
the meat of
restructure. Yeah.
yeah, you're right in the middle of the restructure, so you'll find things a lot faster now.
Yeah. Just remember to return to the standing stones.
Well, the problem I ran into is I got my summoner to 45, and I was so over leveled of the main quest line because I had that buff
Right.
that I was like, well, okay, let's just get another job then and work the second job through the main quest line. So
Yeah,
I picked up
that's all.
Thermid,
Yeah.
Thermid, whatever. And she's at 37 on that, and I'm now even with the main quest line on her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
which is the same character. It's just a different job.
I know.
Yeah, you got pulled into that alluring alt-itis kind of thing with your one character. It's like, but I could be spending this time on a new character. So then you level that character up. Oh, but I've already leveled the content again. Huh? What else can I try? And yeah, you just kind of.
Rabbit did that. I think she had 3 characters all at 50 by the time she got to the end of the main story quest before the revamp. So yeah.
Yeah, and the revamp makes that even faster now. So yeah.
Cool.
But honestly, like in this game, level up one character all the way up, because that will actually speed up everything else you're doing too. Because it actually gives you more experience depending on your highest level.
Yep. Exactly. All right. Well, I do not see any more show titles, so do you have a favorite?
I think I like a little ESO in your WoW.
Okay. All right. Done and done. All right.
Because that basically hits on both of the topics I talked about today.
Yes.
Yep.
All right. We'll do that. Chat room, thank you as always for
Always.
joining us. You guys were interestingly distracting tonight, shall we say?
You were, and Max, we love you. Sorry about picking on you.
We're not sorry. We don't heal them and we pick on them. It's okay.
We're not sorry. It was totally
Seema's fault?
started it,
Yep.
but you know,
Exactly.
we just ran with that.
Did you just Hamilton Seema?
Yeah, whatever it is, Seema started it.
Exactly. All right. On that note,
Whatever you
bye.
heard, Seema started it. There
Whatever
we go.
you heard, Seema started it.